My name is Boon Keng, and I've been doing public speaking for real, focusing it as my profession since 2 years ago, right? And then, but since last year, talks have been getting lesser, and I've sort of taken a pause, and then that's when COVID-19 hits, and even less opportunity for me. So I have to say that I haven't really spoken for about 10 months or so already. So maybe quite rusty. And I'm a bit concerned of my stamina, whether I can do a long talk. That's why I've only made this session today to be just 30 minutes, right? So it's so I can pace myself better, and hopefully get back into the motion of speaking, right? So over the course of the next few Sundays, I'll be sharing on this same topic on how I uh, adapt to my how I learn to adapt to my new normal. So I have this condition called muscular dystrophy, right, which causes my muscles to slowly get weaker and weaker over time, and I gradually lose my ability to do certain things because of the muscle loss, right? And as you can see, when I was so young ago, that was probably 20 years ago, I was still able to walk and run, and that's me. Uh, it was middle of the picture, the shortest one and the cutest one there. Uh, while I can still walk in my primary school years. So over time, because of this condition, that my muscle get weaker, and I lose um, sometimes certain things that I can do in the past, I can no longer do now. So all this while, I have been having to adapt to some new normal for me when I couldn't, when my muscles stopped working for certain parts of my body. Right. So that's why I wanted to share with you today how I adapted to this, to my condition, right, to this new normal, that all this while that I'm having over time. So for me, actually, change is quite a constant, right? From being able to walk to having to use the wheelchair, and then having to use a motorized wheelchair, a powered one to use to control, and then now having to not having to have someone to feed myself to be able to eat, right? So all these changes is as part of the new normal that have always been constantly evolving for me. So I actually thought that, when I was first diagnosed with this condition, and a few years after that, I still feel that I thought that, muscular dystrophy would just be purely bad. There's nothing good out of it, because I mean, who in the right mind would think that losing your muscles is a good thing, right? So I never thought I would there be any good thing coming out of muscular dystrophy. I just feel that uh, it will be all bad from now because of this condition that I'm having. Right. However, the opposite actually happened. Uh, last time, actually, when I was in my primary school years, right, I love to play sports. I love to play soccer with my primary school friends. I think I have one of them here today, right? You should remember that we love to play uh, soccer, just passing the ball around, kicking to each other during recess time. And I even bought a soccer ball, just to play uh, soccer with my friends during recess time. So I thought now, back then, when I have this condition, I had to start using a wheelchair when I was around 10 years old, right? I never knew that I could continue on doing sports, right? But I was proven wrong lah. Actually, my life has showed me that uh, even the worst of things, even things that are seemingly bad at superficially, but actually there are good things that can come out of all this as well. So that's me, right? When I was having to use the wheelchair, right? First using the wheelchair. Like I mentioned, there's this saying that about this cloud always having a silver lining, right? There's always a silver lining in everything, even the bad things that happen. So even for my condition, I thought that was the end of being able to play sports, being able to do what I enjoy. But instead, it opened up new opportunities for me. I got to try out three sports over the course of um, the, the time where I gradually get weaker, right? But because of my disability, I was introduced to so many these three different sports, right? Starting from sailing, right? That was actually I have to say this is one of my favorite sports, right? As much as I love soccer, but sailing was so much more fun because of the speed and that freedom that's involved there. It's a small boat I'm in, but the sea is so wide and big out there that I can go wherever I want with the wind. Yeah. So you might be wondering, uh, hey, since I love this is my favorite sport for all time. Why did I have not continue on sailing? Well, because of my arm muscles getting weaker, and in my when I was in secondary one, so my arm muscles got weaker, and unfortunately I had to give up this sport, right? Because I could no longer. Uh, I was struggling to pull the rope for the sail, and it was difficult. So I was again actually given another opportunity, right? To this time now to play boccia. So having been able to play boccia opened up again another area in my life where I had the opportunity to represent Singapore in um, a few overseas competition in Malaysia, in Thailand. Right, this picture is me playing in Malaysia. Right, just in case you don't know what's boccia, you can always go and Google up BOCCIA. Right, it's a very interesting sport, and it's an up and coming sport in Singapore. So I also played power soccer. This is uh, much newer than boccia in Singapore, probably around actually a decade already. And as you can see, it allows me to play soccer, my my favorite sport in childhood, soccer, even in a wheelchair. And I can say it has been an exciting life for me in terms of in the sports aspect. And yeah, I never imagined myself being able to play these three sports even as my muscles get weaker, and even as I'm not able to feed myself anymore, but yet I can still participate in these sports. So when I started off, this sharing, talking about how I felt that MD, muscular dystrophy, is a bad thing for me, and I don't see any good out of it. But eventually, life showed me the other way. Showed me the positive side of all things. That there's always a silver lining in everything that we have. So it's important, actually, amidst all these changes in our lives, in my new normal, in your new normal out there the next couple of months to come, that we need to have this ability, right, to look for the good inside everything. No matter how bad circumstances are, there's always some good out there that you can find and explore, and this opportunity out there as well. Right. So that's the first story on my sports life that I had shared. Now I think I would like to just share another short story, something more, probably more relatable to everyone out there as well. So you can see this, the flats out there. You know, I can say for the past 2 months, all of us has been staying home in our flats, in our apartments, in our houses, and um, except for going out to buy food and other essential things. In fact, actually, for me, in this period of the COVID-19, as early as February, I've been staying home, so it's about 4 months already, right? You might wondering why did I stay home so much earlier than the rest? Well, actually because of muscular dystrophy, many of us with this condition uh, are more vulnerable to particularly respiratory diseases, right? That I'm most fearful of the pneumonia that COVID-19 will cause. That I think at this age I probably would have a very tough time recovering from pneumonia, and as well as my heart is weaker as well. So all these things makes me a bit gassy, right? That I don't want to take the chance to risk myself going out. So to be honest, I've been is quite fearful of contracting COVID-19. So I stayed home since February, and I thought actually, starting from maybe in around March, I started to worry that yeah, it get very boring because I have to stay home all the time except for maybe going downstairs to get sun for 10 minutes or so. But most of the time I'm at home, so I don't know what can I do other than working, and then eating, sleeping, and all this. So actually, so that was my concern that I would have nothing to do, right? Even before I before COVID-19 happens, I had been staying home for around once 4 days a week, right? So I felt that boredom there already when I'm only going out 3 days a week. So what more now that all the days I have to be stay home? I'm sure this one, many of you out there also have the same concern that uh, for those of us um, privileged enough to stay at home, to work from home, right? What's the life outside of work at home if you have nothing much to do? But then actually, again, uh, the opposite happened. I actually felt more engaged. More entertained. There are more things to do during this 3 months, right? That I've been at home. Because uh, I don't know whether to say fortunate or unfortunate, because most of us at home now. You know, even in many countries out there, all over the world, everyone has been staying home. Because of that, a lot of this entertainment, a lot of events happening supposedly offline in the past have um, went online, right? So um, things like concerts, uh, museum, and even safari tours, right? They have all gone online, and it makes it more accessible actually to people with disabilities and or other conditions that prevent them from going out as often. So I would say the good out of this stay home period has made me been able to access more things, more entertainment than I can when there wasn't this COVID-19, and yeah, it was hard for me to go out to attend all these things. But now all the meetings, all the even birthday parties are happening on Zoom as well or other platform, and I'm able to attend it because of that, right? So I'm not sure how does it resonate to anyone of you here that you find more things that you can attend to now because they're all online now, right? Right, as all this Zoom, um, everything that can be were done offline, online now. So with these two stories that I shared, I think my message is today is very simple on um, having this skill, cultivating this skill and this mindset to be able to look for the good in um, everything, every circumstances that we are in. I think it's very important because yeah, there may be a lot of bad news out there, and sometimes you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, especially now that they say, a vaccine has to be found before things can resume back to a bit more normal, right? So it's many years, many months down the road, hopefully not many years, right? So with many months um, of new normal for us, even after that, after COVID-19, things will change. It's very important to continue looking out for the good opportunities out there amidst all this recession and changes in the economy and our social settings out there as well.